Ginger Feed presents 10 of the most scariest diseases in the world. Number 1. Elephantiasis is one of those classic terrifying diseases which causes massive thickening of the skin and underlying tissue, usually affecting the legs and male genitalia. Your scrotum can swell to the size of a basketball, which is not a sexy sight. Like so much wrong with the world, it's caused by a worm, its symbiotic bacteria, and a mosquito. That's right, those flying bastards can give you the parasite that'll permanently destroy your lower half. Thankfully, this is one of those horrible diseases that we're actually beating, and it's predicted to be all but eradicated by 2020. Number 2. Pica is odd in that it's a psychological disorder where people eat non-nutritious things constantly. Screws, chalk, mud, all sorts of things are devoured, but the cause is mental rather than a batshit virus or parasite causing them to act that way. At least in some forms they obsess over eating unusual food ingredients like raw flour, which I suppose is better than nails. That photo you're looking at? Well, that's the contents of the stomach of one of the patients in a psychiatric ward. That's how bad it can get. No one really knows what causes it, and the treatments are likewise nebulous and poorly defined. Number 3. Madura foot, also known as eumycetoma, is a chronic fungal disease of the foot. This isn't anything pussy like athlete's foot. This is an entire fucking tropical ecosystem established on your extremities. You get the fungal infection from working on farm fields, where the spores spread from the soil to open cuts on your feet, where they quietly take root and don't cause any pain, just some milky discharge for up to a year. Then bam! Enormous pus-filled nodules all over your fucking feet, all the way down to the bone. There's no vaccine or real cure for this disease, leaving the treatment to antifungals or amputation if they don't work. Number 4. Another fucking horrible parasite. But what makes this one even worse is the simple fact that it can live in your eye. Just what? Why? Oh god, why would the universe create something as purely evil as a fucking parasite that lives in your fucking eyeball? Even worse, there are some leeches that will latch onto your eyeball. You know what's super fucking creepy about the filarial worm? It's so common that it's the second most common cause of blindness in the world. That means it happens to a fuck ton of people. My eyes are itching just thinking about it. Number 5. Okay, what do you think fecal vomiting does to you? Congratulations, you're right. There are situations where you will literally vomit up fecal matter. How fun is that? What usually happens is that there's an intestinal block of some kind, so the mushed up food can't go all the way through the system. Instead, it starts to back up, slowly pushing its way back into the stomach, where your body tries to get rid of it. And the only way out is up. You vomit up stuff that isn't technically feces, but smells and I bet tastes exactly the same, because it's partly digested food. Yay, the body. Number 6. Cutaneous horns are technically tumors, but seem to be more signs of satanic possession than anything else. It's a tumor that causes horns to grow out of your skin, which is even creepier because how in the hell do we even possess the mechanism to grow horns? Hair, teeth, nails, all that stuff is already in the body, so when a tumor causes it, it makes sense. But fucking horns? Well, okay, technically it's keratin, the same stuff as fingernails, but it's still fucking creepy. And they don't know what causes it, but they think it's linked to HPV and radiation. Sexually transmitted radioactive disease. Nice. Luckily, you can just chop them off at regular intervals. Number 7. Cancrum oris, commonly called noma, is gangrene of the face. And for some reason, it seems to hit kids more often than adults. More than 80% of those affected by the disease die, as it eats away at the tissue and musculature around the jaws. What causes it? It's an opportunistic infection that likes to hop on board in situations where people are malnourished, have unclean drinking water, poor dental hygiene, and live in close proximity to farm animals. So pretty much anywhere unconscionably poor. What's even worse is that it's especially prevalent in the immunocompromised, like HIV+ kids growing up in South Africa. Ain't life grand? Number 8. You have to feel sorry for the sufferers of trimethylaminoria or fish odor syndrome. It's exactly what it sounds like. A permanent pathological scent of rotting fish clings to your body. It's actually linked to your metabolism, which interferes with the body's ability to break down trimethylamine, which builds up and is excreted through saliva, sweat, and urine. And that shit stinks bad. It's incurable, recessive, and still around. I suppose at that point, you might as well become a fishmonger and just blame it on the business. Number 9. Guinea worm disease, aka dracunculiasis, is one of those terribly horrible stories that people tell you about traveling to third world nations. In fact, it's one of the most commonly bandied tales of woe. First, you swallow the baby worm with dirty water, at which point it happily chills out in your digestive tract for about a year, before metamorphosing into something much nastier. It then migrates to a limb, usually a foot, and forms a large and incredibly painful blister. Do you know how they get it out? They fish out one end and pull it out slowly over the course of days or weeks of agony. You try and pull it out too fast, it snaps, recalling into the body to live again. Number 10. So it turns out we all have Blaschko's lines, but they're invisible under normal conditions, until they show up due to a bunch of different disorders that can cause the pigmentation on your skin to change. The lines show up as a V shape on the back, an S shape on the front, and weird wavy lines all over your head. They think the lines are formed from where the embryonic cells are transported in utero. But the weirdest thing is that there is more than 9 different diseases that can cause you to be striped like a freaking zebra. Thank you for watching another amazing video, and please remember to hit the subscribe box for many more.